What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'll be your host and producer for the show, Logan Landers, and join me here today to talk about the 2024 Texas Longhorns team preview. A man who this is his favorite team, but he's going to give you the ins and outs, the ups and downs of this team. He ain't going to sugarcoat it. He's going to tell you like it is, if it's good or bad or ugly. My guy from the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network, as always, Jay McLovin. Jay, how you doing, my friend? And also, let the fans at home know how Texas will do in this 2024 season.
Yeah, absolutely, man. How you doing, Logan? It's good to be here, brother. And this year, there will be no horns down, baby. It's all horns up, killer. It's all horns up, killer. Logan, I'm excited, man. We're ranked number 4 right now, currently in the standings going into the season. Obviously, you know that we are now welcoming ourselves to the SEC along with Oklahoma University. So this is the new era right now. Not only are we going to the SEC with Oklahoma, but now we're going to that 12-team format, which you know I hate, but we're going to do it anyway. So we're going to the 12-team format. So there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to come out, I think, this season. I look at the schedule for UT, you know, and you got Michigan, OU, Georgia, Florida, and then A&M. You know, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 extremely competitive playoff teams. By the way, Logan, outside of Georgia Tech, we have the number 2 hardest schedule in the league. So I really think that this season is going to be a barometer for how far or how deep we can go in the playoffs, if not all the way to win the title, honestly. You know, you look at the recruiting class in 24, we were number 6 best recruiting class. So it wasn't as good as some of the other ones like Georgia and so forth. But at the same time, I mean, we still got some pretty good guys out of it. We also got some transfer portal guys out of it because we did lose quite a bit. On the wide receiver, we lost Worthy, Winnington, and a couple other guys. We lost Brooks, as you know, as well. So we lost our tight end as well. So, you know, we lost, you know, a little bit on that NFL, or excuse me, on that college leading roster that was about 35 points per game last season. I don't think we're going to see much of a drop off. In the portal, we added Isaiah Bond out of Bama, the wide receiver. We also added wide receiver Matthew Golden out of Houston. And then we picked up wide receiver Silas Borden out of Oregon State. And then we went and got another tight end, Amari Niblock, out of Bama. So we did bring in some transfer portal guys to help shore up that offense, to back up Quentin Ewers and what he plans to bring. Also, in addition to that, we have Jaden Blue and CJ Baxter, upcoming stars. I think Baxter's a senior now. Junior might be. Yeah, Baxter's a senior, and I think Blue is, I believe, a junior. If I'm not mistaken. We also have senior tight end Gunnar Helm and Juan Davis. So we got some guys coming back, and we got some guys that are resurrecting that offense. So Quentin Ewers clearly is back. You know, last year he put up almost 3,500 yards and 22 touchdowns. As you know, you got Archie Manning in the back. Just in case something doesn't go wrong, or maybe Archie Manning wins. I think it's going to be Quentin Ewers obviously starting, and if he goes down, we do have Archie Manning as a backup. So this team has depth, it has experience. Sarkisian, you know, he knows the SEC. He's familiar with the SEC. He knows what to expect out of the SEC. So I really expect the transition into the SEC not only to be great, but I think we're poising ourselves for a breakout season. If not this year, it'll be next year. But I really think this year could be our breakout season. I think Sarkisian was even saying that he believes that this Texas team is ready to break out. So I expect something to happen this year, Logan. What it is going to be 100%, I don't know, but I really expect great things out of this team. When you look at the other side of the coin, the defensive side, you know, we did take a hit in the draft. We lost a lot of guys in the draft. I think we were like 3rd, I think it was FBS last year. But we brought in, I hope I can say this guy's name right, Savea, defensive tackle Savea out of Arizona, and we brought in a safety as well to help shore up some of the spots that we lost on defense in the draft. But I really expect, like I said, a lot from this team, Logan. Ultimately, it's going to be a great year, I think, for us. But it is going to come with a lot of adversity because we are moving into a tougher conference. We do have a tougher schedule. I think September 7th, when we play Michigan, is going to be the telltale sign of what's to come out of this Texas team. If we do great against Michigan, then I feel good against going against Georgia and so forth. As you know, Georgia is ranked number 1 right now. Ohio is, I think, number 2. Oregon, I think, is 3, and we're 4. So out of those, we got 2 teams that are up there in the rankings. One of them is ranked. Obviously, got the number 1 ranked team. So I expect a lot, Logan. I really do, and I would not be surprised one bit if UT grabs the national title. I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, and it's that kind of speaks to the recruiting process of this team because I mean, you mentioned the losses that your team has, the turnover compared to last year. You know, I mean, it's not like it's just one big hitter or so. I mean, you lost a lot of talented players. Specifically, like you mentioned, offense with Worthy, Mitchell, Whittington, all of them are gone. Sanders as well, Jonathan Brooks. I mean, that is a who's who of players for your team over the last handful of years. But you say you did some nice work in the transfer portal. You got some solid players to help out that offense, and we know how talented Quinn Ewers is and the years that he's put into this system and kind of out of nowhere in terms of the national spotlight he's got to become one of the perennial quarterbacks coming up in futures drafts. So he's done a great job. Expect him to continue his hot streak, from years past. We all know with Sark, right? With Sark that it's going to be fun out there on offense. It's going to be flying. It's going to be a lot of yards, a lot of points. So get your popcorn ready. I think for defense, that's going to be the real tipping point for this team. I think offense, they can recover. But defense is where, obviously, it's where, the old cliche of defense wins championships.
Yeah.
And you said you lost a lot on offense, but you also lost a good bit on defense as well. I mean, like you mentioned, Tavondre Sweat, who's your big guy, 330-plus pounds. I mean, big boy, losing him up front on the D-line, that's going to hurt. Also, Byron Murphy as well, Jalen Ford. Those are guys who made Big 12 teams last year for awards at the end of the year. That's how good they were. And you got to replace them. Like you said, you got a lot of guys coming back, right? You've got Anthony Hill Jr. coming in, who's looking good. Malik Muhammad as well at corner. You mentioned some of the guys you got over in the transfer portal with Savea coming out of Arizona. Also, safety out of Clemson with Andrew McCubboo. And also Trey Moore, who could be kind of a hidden gem, Jay. You got him from UTSA out there with the Roadrunners. He picked up 14 sacks past season. So we'll see how his game can translate to now the SEC. And then, of course, Kendrick Blackshear, who used to be at Bama. I think overall, like you said, September 7th, that's going to be a date that's really going to be telling of how good this team is. If they can hang with the champs, with the defending champs in Michigan, that's going to be telling. If they can beat them, better. If they lose, might get some doubts out there. People might start throwing some early shade, even though, like you said, it is early September when this game is played. There's still a lot of ball left to play. However, I think Texas is going to be a team that's going to be in the top 12. They're going to make the college football playoff, bar none. I think they have that talent there. Yeah. But, man, I'm just more so excited for the insanity of the SEC now. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, my God. It's going to be so fun. If it's as wild as all of us expect it to be, this could be one of those years you look back on and say, man, we just got to do a year in review of 2024 because of how fun it was. So I'm expecting big things. But, no, I think Texas, I can confidently say I think they will be a top 12 team end of the year. And they will be moving on, Jay, to fight for a national championship, perhaps, in that new 12-team bracket. But what are your final thoughts on your team before we get on out of here today?
Yeah, interestingly enough, the biggest thing for me, the biggest assurance factor that I know this team is going to be great, especially on offense, and I do think that we will maintain 35 points a game, if not even more, is because our O-line is brought back from last season, and we're still intact. We lose any of the O-line. So our O-line is still on point. So that's another good thing for
Yeah.
them. The fact that they have that good O-line, keep yours upright, keep that ball getting out of his hands. So I like that aspect. And interestingly enough, in 2012, Texas was initially supposed to go to the SEC during that time period.
That's true.
But they wanted A&M to come with them, and I think Texas wound up bowing out of it, and then A&M actually wound up going in 12. But it was supposed to be Texas, and then Texas said, "Okay, they told the SEC, if you're going to take Texas, then you got to take SEC, or you got to take A&M with them." And it just didn't happen that direction. So A&M was actually the one that wound up going, and not Texas, but. Yeah, it's going to be awesome to see this year, Logan. Specifically, I mean, the SEC is going to be on fire.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. It's going to be fun. A lot of really cool matchups, that some people might not have seen, or it's been a while since we've seen. So it's going to be fun, man. Gear up, because 2024 season's right around the corner. And, of course, like, follow, share, and subscribe here on the channel so you don't miss a single bit of college football as well as just football information. Jay McLevin, appreciate you, brother, coming on the show, talking about your Longhorns. Hook 'em horns. You got to throw them up. You know how it is. There you go. And, guys, until next time, go on out there. Once again, download our show on Apple, Spotify, as well, our podcast. And until next time, we'll talk to you all again on another live episode. We'll see you later.